اللهم صل على محمد وعلى آل محمد كما صليت على إبراهيم وعلى آل إبراهيم إنك حميد مجيد. Yeah, we stopped last time at this hadith, the hadith that is narrated by Laqit ibn Sabra or Sabira, that the Prophet said, perform a perfect wudu, perform a perfect wudu, run your finger through the fingers of the hand as well as between the toes, and sniff water up well inside the nose, unless you are fasting. This hadith is reported by Abu Dawud, Tirmidhi, Nasa'i and Ibn Majah, and Ibn Khuzaymah has said it's sahih. Ibn Majah said this hadith is sahih, and not only Ibn Majah said this hadith is sahih, some other people said it's sahih, but we said this hadith is known to be the hadith of Ismail ibn Kathir from Asim ibn Laqit ibn Sabira, from his father. Laqit ibn Sabira is known Sahabi, but his son, if he is his son at all, Asim ibn Laqit ibn Sabira is not known, because the only narrator from him is one person called Ismail ibn Kathir, who himself is considered to be majhul. When a person has only one narrator and he is not known physically to people, they don't know him, nobody of these known people have met him, then this person is considered to be majhul, unknown. They say majhul al-ayn. It's not majhul al-hal. There is two different kind of majhul, unknown person. One is unknown, we don't know his status, he's not known whether to be trustworthy or not. One is not known that he existed. So to jahalat al-ayn, to be lifted, they say he must have two narrators. Whatever condition they put, when someone is not known, we don't know whether he had a good memory, whether he has memorized or not. So this hadith has two problems here. The narrator from Laqit ibn Sabira, Asim ibn Laqit ibn Sabira, Yahya ibn Sa'id al-Qattan, who is well-known muhaddith, like Ahmad ibn Hanbal, ibn Ma'in, ibn al-Madini, they learned from him. And his opinion is considered by everybody when it comes to man. When someone is trustworthy or not trustworthy, we look what Yahya ibn Sa'id al-Qattan has said about him. Yahya ibn Sa'id al-Qattan, when he was asked about this man Asim, he said every Asim is da'if. And we don't have amongst these known people who said this man, we know him and he is trustworthy. As for Ismail ibn Kathir is the same situation. This hadith here from Laqit ibn Sabira, it starts like this. Just to see, when they decide the hadith is da'if or sahih, they look at the statement of the hadith, and then they normally, if it's someone who is not unknown and brings something that is in the matn, in the hadith, which is weird, considered to be weird compared to the general what we know from the life of the Prophet, then this hadith they classify it as da'if. Now this hadith, it says Laqit ibn Sabira, I came to the Prophet, he was not there, then Aisha ordered us some food, she ordered some food to be brought to us, we ate, and then the Prophet came and he ordered, and then the shepherd was going, and the Prophet asked him, what did the goat produce? Like, he said a new baby, like a goat. Then the Prophet said, okay, slaughter one goat. And then he turned to me, the narrator, and told him, don't think that we are slaughtering this goat for you. It's just that we have 100 goats. Every time one new one is produced, we slaughter one. This hadith starts like this. And then he said, I asked the Prophet about the wudu. He said, do the wudu properly and run your fingers. Just here they bring this hadith. That I mentioned all hadith, which is from weak people, weird statement. And what we get here is this hadith has no basis. It's narrated by these weak people, so we shouldn't take it. The hadith says, perform a perfect wudu, run your finger through the fingers of the hands as well as between the toes of the feet, and sniff water as well inside the nose unless you are fasting. Like you take water very deep unless you are fasting. The thing is, you don't have to take water deep, because there is no such hadith sahih that says you have to do that. You have to sniff water to do istinshaq. As for running the water through the toes, is not an obligation. Ahmad ibn Hanbal says that all the hadith about passing the hands, the fingers through the hands are da'if. Ahmad ibn Hanbal say that all the hadith about passing the fingers through the beard are da'if. And Ahmad ibn Hanbal as well said that all the hadith about saying Bismillah at the beginning of wudu are da'if. So this is not an obligation to sniff water up deep, and it's not an obligation to pass the hands, the fingers through the hand fingers, unless there is something that you think that might stop water from going in. Because it is an obligation when it comes to wudu, it is an obligation to pass water through the place that you are going to wash. All the place. You shouldn't leave even an inch. And we will talk about this again, inshallah. This following hadith is narrated by Uthman. He said, while performing wudu, the Prophet would run fingers through his beard. Reported by Tirmidhi and Ibn Khuzaymah, and Ibn Khuzaymah graded this hadith to be sahih. We said last time why Ibn Khuzaymah and Ibn Hibban and Al-Hakim will grade hadith sahih when everybody else will not agree. Because Ibn Khuzaymah and his student Ibn Hibban and the student of his student Al-Hakim, they have special rules when it comes to grading hadith sahih or da'if. The majority say as long as a man is not known, when a man is unknown, his hadith is da'if, until we know that this man is trustworthy and has good memory, so he can memorize his. And he is someone who, if he has no good memory, he has a book where he writes his book, where he writes the hadith, and he will protect this book from other people to add to it or make any changes. Ibn Khuzaymah and Ibn Hibban and his student, they say, have a different opinion. They say, if someone from Tabi'in or Atba'ut Tabi'in, the three first generation, then we shouldn't care. We shouldn't really want to know if he is trustworthy or not, because these people are automatically trustworthy. And therefore, we will take their hadith without, as long as we don't know these people to be not trustworthy, then for us these people should be trustworthy, and we have to take their hadith. Their proof is that the Prophet said that the best generation is my generation, and then the one that follows, and then the one that follow. And then there will be people who will lie. So from this we understand that the three generations generally they don't lie, while the generations afterwards will be liars, except there is exception. But the majority, generally they are liars. Before that they were not liars, but there is exceptions as well. Now the thing is, this is a very strong argument what they say here. This should be it would have been right if it was only for trust. But when we take hadith, we don't look at one thing. We don't look only for trust. We look for another thing, that the person has memorized the hadith and he understood the hadith. And this, the Prophet didn't say that one generation is better than the other. So everybody here is similar when it comes to memorizing and reading and narrating. So we don't know these people. When we don't know someone, we don't know if he has memorized his hadith fully, correctly, so we can't take his hadith. Therefore, and then I say that Ahmad bin Hanbal already said, even though the hadith about passing the finger through the beard are so many, Ahmad bin Hanbal said there is no hadith which is sahih for the sunnah of passing the finger through the beard. Ishaq ibn Rahawih, who was in the same level as Ahmad bin Hanbal in hadith, in his time as well, said the same thing. And the hadith of the Takhleel al-Lihya, putting the finger through the beard, are so many, but all graded to be da'if. Recently, the people who now muhaddithin today, many have said this hadith is sahih by putting the hadith together. You know, the way that hadith da'if plus hadith da'if equal to hasan or sahih, they do it here now. But this is not the way they used to do it before. The following hadith is narrated by Abdullah bin Zayd. If there is anything that is not understood or something, you can't stop me until to explain more. I'm just going to try to pass reading. The hadith are explained, self-explained. It's very easy. So the following hadith is narrated by Abdullah bin Zayd, that the Prophet was given, that the Prophet, no, 2/3 of mud of water was brought to the Prophet. 2/3 of mud. Mud is something that they used to measure with. So the Prophet was given 2/3 of mud of water, a vessel that is called mud. There was water, 2/3 of it was full of water. And then to the Prophet, so he was rubbing his forearm between the wrist and the elbow. Then he was rubbing his arm with water. Now, when it comes to ghusl, washing the hands, so the face, the majority consider ghusl this, that if you go, for example, under shower, and then you put your face under the shower, you put your hands, and then the second hand, and then your head, and then your feet, they say your wudu is complete. This is the majority, and this is right, because this is called ghusl. Malik, in his madhab, only Malik and Muzani, the companion of Shafi'i, they say no, you have to rub water with your hand. They say if you just you don't rub with your hand, that is not enough. That is the madhab of Malik, contradicting the majority. In ghusl we don't need to rub water. It's enough, for example, yes.
What about the saying your ghusl is complete, your wudu is complete? What about the inhaling in the nose and in the mouth?
Yeah, those they don't consider. The majority don't consider the madmada and istinshaq to be an obligation. Even when we say it's complete, we are talking about these places where you don't you can put water and throw it away. Just put your hand under the rain. You put the first hand, then the second hand, and just niyyah is with the intention. So this wudu is complete. When it comes to washing your mouth, then this is a different thing. Here you have to put water inside. Even this, there is different opinion. For those who consider it to be an obligation or sunnah, they say, is it enough to put water inside and spit it without moving it in your mouth? That is not called madmada anyway. But because there is no specific order about putting water in the mouth, then yeah, you can just put some water and then spit it. That will be washing your mouth. So, but there is no dalil from the Arabic language that you have to rub water on your. You see, if someone has to take ghusl janaba, for example, or ghusl jum'ah or whatever. So he just jump into the water, into the swimming pool, and then comes out. He has done his ghusl. Only niyyah. That all he needs is the intention. When he has done the intention, he has completed the ghusl. So rubbing the water, there is no proof from the. If Malik took it from the Arabic language, the Arabs consider if someone put his hand under the tap and let water running on his arm, they consider this person to have washed his hand. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala ordered us to wash our faces, our hands. So the rubbing thing is not necessary, unless where there is places that you have to put water in. Like for example, if someone has a ring, so he must move the ring to make sure that the water go under the ring. If someone has some deformed hands or something where they are stuck, and he must make sure that he open his finger so water goes inside. That's all. But you don't have to rub water on your body, on your arms, on your face. It's enough to, for example, to put your face in the vessel. It's enough to put your hand inside the vessel and take it out. That will be washing.
Sheikh, would it be considered a sunnah to rub?
No, the way the Prophet used to do it, he used to rub. He will take water, and then he used to rub.
Because you see, like he said, Imam Malik's opinion saying that basically it's not valid unless you rub it, yeah?
Yeah.
The majority say it's valid without rubbing it.
Yeah.
So could you class that as just being a sunnah to actually rub it? So
yeah, this is the generally the Prophet. The Prophet used to do wudu. All the people who describe the wudu of the Prophet, he used to rub with his water, with his hand. He will put water on his hand and either like sprinkle on his all the places, but they generally say that he used to rub. That's what you understand.
So what if you use soap or shower gel or soap? Is this counted in your ghusl?
When you do a shower with soap, the first when you are doing with soap, you shouldn't consider that to be ghusl. When you start rinsing with water, that should be ghusl.
So basically, you can wash with the soap afterwards. Do your ghusl first.
No, you can do ghusl. You can start with the soap, and then but the intention, because ghusl is to be with water. Soap is not water. So only when you start rinsing, that where you make the niyyah that this is for the ghusl. The soap, when rubbing soap on your body, that is not ghusl.
But the soap doesn't nullify the water, though, isn't it? So the soap doesn't make the water impure, does it?
It doesn't make the water impure. But what you are putting here is soap. It's not water. It's not called water. You see, when you are putting water with soap, yeah, you just put soap inside the water, and then rub it on your body.
See, the point here, Sheikh, is the actual method. We're talking about the method, of putting soap on your body, and then like washing it off.
Yes.
I'm counting that as a ghusl, yeah.
Yes.
But did the Prophet do that, or did he?
No, he did
pure water.
The Prophet used to do. We don't have any hadith. The Prophet used to do. Take shower with water. That's what we know from hadith. Of course, this at the time of the Prophet, they had some other methods to wash. They had something similar to soap, not soap, but what we call ashnan. And I don't know really what from where they make it. Some people say they make it from earth. There is some kind of earth that they wash with. Of course, you can't just wash with water all the time. You have to wash sometime. But the ghusl that the Prophet used to do as obligation ghusl, it was with water. Putting anything, when we spoke of last time about the waters, which water is clean, which water is not clean, we say that putting something in the water which will not change the taste of the water or the smell of the water will not make the water not, of course it's not impure. The water will be valid to be used to clean yourself with it.
So you can't use soapy water for ghusl?
You can use water that has some detergent, some things inside without, not to the point that is changed completely, not to be cold water.
But usually...
But when you go to the bath and you put some foam and you look at it, it's soap. It's not water anymore. That is not enough to take ghusl with. Then you have to rinse, and that rinsing will be considered to your ghusl. But if you take in the water, you just put something to change the smell, that's fine. The Prophet, when his daughter died, Zainab, he ordered the woman to wash her, and every washing should be with water. He ordered them to put some cedar. They used to put cedar leaves of one good smelly tree.
Lotus.
Yeah, to give it a good smell in the water, and to put some kind called kafur, some things that are white things. They put them in the toilet to keep away the cockroaches, because they don't like, but it has good smell. So this, as long as the water is still cold water, is fine. But soap itself is not water.
Sheikh, wouldn't that be specific for someone who dies?
No, that will not be specific, because cleaning is with water. The water, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, وَأَنزَلْنَا مِنَ السَّمَاءِ مَاءً طَهُورًا. We have sent down from the sky a cleaning water. Now, the water is clean. The Prophet said, وَجُعِلَتْ لِلْأَرْضُ مَسْجِدًا وَطَهُورًا إِذَا نَحْنُ لَمْ نَجِدِ الْمَاءَ. The earth is made clean to me, cleaning method to me, cleaning thing, when there is no water. So when there is no water, the next thing should be dust, nothing else. And there is these two things that you can clean with. In Shariah, these are the two things that you can clean with, nothing else. Contradict of the Ahnaf. The Ahnaf say any pure thing can be used to clean. Even in Wudhu, they consider juice to be fine, and any halal drink to be fine to do Wudhu with. But that is not right. Only water can be.
Sorry, Sheikh, I missed some of the Tahara which
Yeah.
we went through already. So you're saying the Prophet ﷺ ordered for Zainab to be washed with something that changed the smell of the water?
Bit. Not to the point where it's not called water anymore. It will change it a little bit.
Scent.
Yes.
So if something is a strong scent or taste,
as long as it's called water. You see, you take water and you put some sugar, but it's still called water. It slightly changed though, but then you keep putting the sugar and it's called juice, and then it's not water anymore.
But you can clean impurities with the juice, can't you?
No, you can't. It's haram.
So if a child urinates on the floor, you can't use the juice to...
No, you can't. It's haram. But if you use it, it will be... It's haram to clean any impurities with other than water. But if you use it now, if you put milk and that urine is not there anymore, it's gone. You don't say, oh, I didn't make niyyah, but it's not there anymore. No, you don't. You do niyyah or you don't. But you have done something haram, but not cleaning it with water. It's not like wudu. Wudu, you are doing wudu, you are not, when you do wudu, normally you are not seeing anything on your body. You do wudu, not for any reason except that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said do wudu. You are not, oh, my hands are dirty or anything. So if you do wudu with milk, your wudu is invalid. You have to do wudu again. If you have something on your body, some dirt on your body, you have to do it with water. But if you wash it with milk, you have done something wrong, but you don't say, oh, I can't now pray. Because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala didn't order us specific order about, like, if you go to pray, you have to wash the dirt from your hand with water, or there is no specific order. It's just you have to pray with no dirt on your body. And you don't have any dirt on your body. But you have done wrong by washing it with something other than water.
If you put the milk on that urine and then you put water on it, that's fine.
No, it's haram to, anyway, it's haram to wash with milk. It's haram to use the food, which is the.
But you know that you use the detergents or stuff like that, you throw it on the urine, that you might have whatever it is, domestos, flesh, whatever, you throw it on it, and then you use water to clear.
If the water, you can always use the water is the way to wash the dirt.
Yes.
And the only way to wash the dirt when there is water. So you wash it with water, and then you put whatever you want on that place. Once you have washed it with water, once the dirt is gone, then you can put detergent with water. You can put whatever you want.
Okay.
But now it's the what Allah ordered you to do to clean the dirt is done. Now there is a place that you don't like anymore, or you are not happy with it, but it's clean according to Sharia. It's clean. Now,
whatever you want to do.
Whatever you want to do with this place, do it.
You know, last week you were talking about, or the week before, about, you know, if people sometimes try to use qiyas to use tissue in the place of stone.
Yeah.
So let's say you use tissue and you said you correct it by using the water afterwards.
Yes.
So then are you free from error in that way, or are you still?
No.
Is it still haram for what you've done?
There is some dirt that, for example, no matter what, the water can't take it. So you have to take the body of the dirt.
Yes.
Move it, and then clean it.
Yes.
Clean it with water.
Yeah.
Then afterwards you put whatever you want. The question of when we say it's haram not to do it in the right way, sometimes when you don't do something in the right way, it won't be sufficient. Like if you do wudu or you take shower with anything other than water, it won't be sufficient. If you go to pray, if someone has janaba and he takes shower with milk, that shouldn't be enough. He would have to take shower again with water. He is washing here something that he can't see. Janaba, you can't see it. And because of the specific hadith about ghusl of janaba, or the hadith about the wudu, la salata, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, la salata bi ghayr tahur. There is no prayer without tahur. If someone stand up to pray and he has taken shower with milk or juice, he didn't take shower. Yes? And because he didn't take shower, he has no tahur. He has not taken he has not purified himself. So his prayer is invalid. But there is no such thing about cleaning your body from the dirt. There is no specific order about cleaning your body. All you have, when you have to pray, you have to pray with clean body. There is no specific order for that. So now if someone clean his body, like he has done wudu, finished, and then dirt has touched his body, and then he goes and clean it with something, with milk, it will be haram, because this is not the way to purify yourself.
He's got wudu.
But on your body now there is no dirt, so it's fine to pray.
So it's like equivalent to doing wudu and leaving the tap running. You're wasting water, but you've still done your wudu in it. So it's a separate.
It's separate issues.
Yeah.
It's probably like that. Some people may say it like that.
Going back to that first thing we were talking about, the urine. Let's say I drop this tea over here.
Yeah.
Yeah. When you say clean it with water, do you mean, for example, if I initially
tea is halal.
Okay.
And it's clean.
Okay. Let's say urine.
Yes.
Let's say I just throw it's on the carpet and I throw water on it.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then I take the domestos and I clean it. That's fine. If I throw water, or do I have to? Is there a method in which the Prophet said how to clean it?
You just clean it. If the water overcome
is more than the urine, isn't it?
Yeah. If the water overcome the urine,
yes.
Then the urine here, what happened, has dissolved in the water.
Then you can use the domestos after.
Yeah. Then you can. Then when it's clean, it's clean. Then you can continue with whatever you want. And the next hadith is narrated from Abdullah bin Zayd that he saw the Prophet taking some water to wipe his ears other than the water he had taken to wipe his head. This hadith is reported by Al-Bayhaqi, who said that the isnad of narrators is authentic. But But he says here, it has been reported by Muslim through the same chain of as Al-Bayhaqi, with the wording, he wiped his head with water other than the water remaining from the washing of the hands. Now the first hadith, which is narrated by Al-Bayhaqi, it says that the Prophet has taken some water to wipe his ears other than the water that he wiped his head with. Like taking water, wipe his head, and then taking more water to do his ears. This is the narration of Bayhaqi, which says, he says, which says that they say that it's sahih here. But this same hadith is narrated in Bukhari and in Muslim, and in Muslim, which is a chain of narrators, authentic chain of narrators, they say that he wiped his head with a different water. So one hadith says that the Prophet took water and wiped his hand. He didn't use it with the same water that he washed his face with. Someone made a mistake and said the Prophet washed his ears with a different water than the one of his head. We can see it's the same chain of narrators, same hadith. Many people said that he changed the water for his head. That means he used new water for his head, not the same water that he used for his face. You understand this? Some people, when they take water, wash their face, and then what they do, they don't take some more water. They wash their face, the hands still wet, they do their head. It's fine. Not for those who consider the water after when it's used becomes dirty, but those who consider the water to stay clean, then it's fine to wash your face and then with your wet hand pass it through the head. So this is what actually the one narrator said. He said that the Prophet took new water for his head rather than using the water that he used his face. One person here in this hadith called Abdullah bin Wahb made a mistake, and this happens in hadith. People make mistakes, they forget, and then he, rather than saying the Prophet wiped his head with a different water from the one of his face, he said the Prophet wiped his ear with a different water from the one of his head. So this hadith is a mistake. Even here he says this is hadith sahih. Yeah, it is. Sometimes the hadith is not sahih.
The wording is.
But what happens? Even these trustworthy people, sometimes they make mistake. They do mistake. How we know that? When someone contradicts many, like Abdullah bin Wahb here. Even Abdullah bin Wahb is student of Malik. He is trustworthy. He narrated hadith sometimes from the same people that Malik has narrated from, but he contradicted many. One contradicting many, one is wrong. It's more likely that one will be wrong than the majority. In this case, this hadith is da'if here. This is what we call hadith shad. So the Prophet didn't take new water for his ear. However, taking new water or using the same water is fine. It's only mustahab, it's good to change the water, because the Prophet, when he did his wudu and he took new water for his head other than the one that he used for his face, afterwards he said, whoever perform wudu like my wudu and does 2 rak'ah, Allah will forgive him his sins. So that wudu is special. It's better than any other wudu that other people may do. You can do wudu with just washing one time, but it's not as good as doing it 3 times, because in that hadith it mentions 3 times.
So what about between the head and the ears? It's the same water, isn't it? To wipe the head,
yeah,
and then index, finger index.
Well, if you remember last time, we said the sahih hadith about wiping the ears is the hadith of Sunabihi, where the Prophet said, spoke about wudu. When a person does wudu, when he washes his mouth, his sins will fall
and from the ears,
from his mouth. And then when he wash his head, when he wipe his head, his sins will fall with the water that falling from his ears. Now that means that the ears are part of the head. This hadith show that the ears are part of the head.
So there's nothing sahih to say to go the Prophet ﷺ went inside the ears and around the back.
All this hadith I told you last time, Ibn Manda mentioned about the hadith of the washing of the ears, going down or inside and outside. Ibn Manda said that all these hadith are da'if except the hadith of Ibn Abbas. And the hadith of Ibn Abbas, which is narrated in Bukhari by Sulaiman bin Bilal, who is trustworthy unanimously, didn't mention anything about wiping the ears. Who mentioned the wiping of the ears? Abdul Aziz bin Muhammad Darawardi, Muhammad bin Ijlan, and Hisham bin Sa'd. These three people are considered to be da'if by many and thiqa by many, so they give them the Hasan. That's what they say, his hadith is Hasan. Bukhari and Muslim did not narrate anything. Bukhari did not narrate anything from Hisham bin Sa'd. Muslim narrated from Hisham bin Sa'd with backing of other people. As for Muhammad bin Abdul Aziz bin Muhammad and Muhammad bin Ijlan, Bukhari and Muslim narrates from them when there is someone with them in the same chain of narrators, like backing, not alone. We call it mutaba'a. For the washing of the ears, there is different opinion about this as well, because there are some people who don't consider washing of the ears. There are some people who say there is no washing of the ears at all, and there are some that say that washing of the ears should be like the face with the front of the ear, and then the head with the back of the ear.
Where did they get that from?
They say this is the face, and this is the head.
So that is part of the face at this
point.
They
say, it's like the border between the face and the head.
Who says this?
There is Abu Thawr, from Abu Thawr is known, Shafi'i, says this. Dawud al-Zahiri say this. And there is someone called Muawiyah ibn Qurra say this. And there are some other. I am just mentioning the people that are famous, and the other people are not that famous. Ismail ibn Ulayya, Muhaddith. The next hadith is the hadith narrated by Abi Hurairah. He said, I heard Allah Messenger saying, my people will come on the day of resurrection with radiant faces, with glowing faces, hands and feet from the traces of wudu. If any of you can extend his brightness, let him do so. This hadith is narrated by Bukhari and Muslim. Now, this hadith is narrated by many Sahaba. Here is Abu Hurairah. He narrated it from Abu Hurairah. This hadith is narrated almost by 10 Sahaba. It says that the Sahaba, when they asked the Prophet how he will know his companions or his ummah the day of judgment, he said that they will come, their faces glowing or bright from the effect of wudu. They call this ghurra, the face, they call it ghurra here, and what's in the feet they call it tahjil. And it's if you have seen horses, a horse that is black and has white
Patch.
in the forehand. And some horses, they are black, but in their feet, you see, white. So this is tahjil. So the Prophet compared this to the horse being, and then here the hadith says, so this is how the Prophet will know his ummah. Now Abu Huraira, why he said this hadith? Abu Huraira was doing wudu above the mosque. So someone called Nu'aym al-Mujmir saw him. He was doing wudu. He almost went up to above the elbow. So when he asked him, he told him this hadith. Here, this addition here, فَمَنِ اسْتَطَاعَ مِنْكُمْ, whoever can, if any of you can extend his brightness, let him do so. So whoever can extend it to beyond the elbow or to beyond the ankles. Ibn Taymiyyah and Ibn al-Qayyim say this is a mistake. They say this hadith, this half of this hadith is not the saying of the Prophet based on the Arabic language. It is very possible that it's not, because this hadith that Abu Huraira said is narrated by 10 Sahaba, and all the Sahaba that narrated it didn't mention this addition here, whoever can extend his brightness, let him do so. And even Abu Huraira, many people narrated this hadith from him. Only this narration mentioned this. All other people didn't mention this. So they say actually this is the saying of Abu Huraira. First he mentioned the hadith of the Prophet, that he will know his ummah like this and this, and then he said something. So whoever can extend his brightness, let him do so. So they say this is the saying of Abu Huraira rather than the Prophet. And Ibn al-Qayyim says because there is no way you can extend anything in your head. This means you have to wash all your face. So it's not like in the feet and the arms. You can probably extend a little bit, but in your face, what are you going to extend? Because then the head starts, and you all what is under where the hair are, from the hair down, you have to wash your face anyway.
Wash your neck and your chest and your shoulders.
Yeah, there is some.
We might as well.
Yeah, and then narrated by Aisha, Allah Messenger loved to begin with the right while putting on his shoes, combing his hair in his purification and in all his affairs. He started with this hadith of Aisha that the Prophet loved to begin. This is an action rather than the saying of the Prophet. The Prophet loved to begin with his right while putting on his shoes, combing his hair and his purification and in all his affairs. This is the saying of Aisha, what she knows from the Prophet. This is what the Prophet used to do. The following hadith is the hadith narrated by Abu Huraira, where it says that the Prophet said, when you perform ablution, begin with your right limbs. This hadith is weak. The order of the Prophet to start with the right wings, with the right limbs. This hadith is weak. But the hadith of Aisha is sahih, that the Prophet used to like to start with the right. And the wudu described by the Prophet, he always starts with the right. In Shariah, in religion, it is good to start with the right in every matter, except where the Shariah, where the Prophet has said that you have to start with the left. Why it's good to start with the right? Because starting with the right, the Prophet used to like the good omen. Good omen?
No.
There is good omen and bad omen. Yameen, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala described the people of Jannah to